Hi, I'm Scott Smith. Welcome to Out of Bounds Ranch, a working cattle ranch in central Colorado. Yeah, so Out of Bounds Ranch is located about 25 miles west of Aspen in Carbondale, Colorado. And we have 1,970 deeded acres and another 2,000 acres that we lease for cattle grazing. It's a family-owned ranch, and yes, we did buy it before the television hit of Yellowstone. So when I first came up to Out of Bounds Ranch, I noticed the amount of deadfall that we had on the ground, and we had just survived the Grizzly Creek fire, which came up to the north gate of the ranch. And to me, one of the biggest priorities was trying to clean up the land and promote it in such a way where the animals and the elk would want to be here. We have hundreds and hundreds of elk that call Out of Bounds Ranch home year-round. And being able to create an environment that's safe from fire and also friendly for animals was our top priority. So when I went out looking for the best alternatives on how to clear this much property and this much deadwood and doing the research, the PT-300 was the best fit for us in the ranch. It allows us to mulch and not have to have a lot of labor expense associated with land clearing. I'm able to operate the machine and love it. I can spend all day long in there and I just absolutely love it. It's got a pressurized cabin, which is fantastic. You can run it in the wintertime, you can run it in the summertime, and it's very, very comfortable and very maneuverable. You know, when we're going through these trees, we really try to preserve the healthy trees and only take up the dead trees. And the PT is very nimble and allows us to get around and do that comfortably. And when I say spend time in there, I might spend 12 hours a day, pretty much non-stop except for fuel. And it's a fabulous machine. Fire danger in Colorado is just as serious as it is in California. It can be very catastrophic and it moves very, very fast. Because we are a high desert, most of the dead wood that's around, either on the ground or still standing dead wood, it doesn't decay. It just stays and kind of hardens and makes for excellent fire fuel. Unlike some of the places in California where people don't want to clear the forest floor, we do. And it makes it easier for the animals to get through the forest. From a ranching operation standpoint, it allows the cows and the horses to move more freely. There are places on the ranch where it's so overgrown that you really can't get there, and if you lose a cow, you just have to wait until they come out. So this year we're running 400 spayed heifers, and some years we'll run 300 pair mamas and babies. It just depends on what we're looking at. But we're kind of a VRBO, if you will, for cows. They come in from other states and eat our grass. So if you're eating grass-fed beef, that's what we're growing here. And they come in from other states in May, and they'll stick around, and we drive them basically up to the upper part of the ranch when they get here, and then we'll start to move them on down to the bottom of the ranch so they can be picked up in October, and then they go off to their next place. I had no heavy equipment experience when I first sat in the PT. I hadn't run a forklift, I hadn't run any of the skid steers or anything like that, and got into the PT, and it took me about 2 minutes to figure it all out and loved it. And I do have a very nice skid steer, and this is actually easier to operate than the skid steer. I'm able to operate the machine and love it. I can spend all day long in there and I just absolutely love it. And Max and I fight over who gets to drive it a little bit. Max is our ranch manager. He's been here for 41 years. Came to the ranch right out of graduating college. and he knows every square inch of this ranch.
It's overwhelming in places how many trees we have on the ground, and it's become almost impossible to go through there. And where previously you could ride through it, you could walk through it, animals could get through it. So that's something that we can control. You look at the places that you've been with the PT-300 and knowing what it was before, it's encouraging to know what you can accomplish with it. And so yeah, we have considered possibly upgrading, and so as good a job as this does, if something else, it would be awesome. Yeah. Scott uses the term park-like, but I think what he means by that is keep our trees, and as we take out some of the competition of underbrush and things that are overtaking, those trees will thrive more. The brush that we leave thrives more. The grass has much more potential when it doesn't have to compete. Particularly, as I mentioned before, years are getting drier, so moisture is at a premium. So we want to make sure that our moisture is utilized as best that it can be. Scott's involvement has been great in terms of when he has the time, and he's more than willing to listen to ideas, and so our relationship has really been good, and it's been good for the ranch as well. He's looking at it long term. It's something that he wants to pass on to his kids, and so he's looking down the road and what could this look like 20 years from now. And so that kind of vision is rare these days in people buying ranches, and whether they're dividing them up, putting up houses or something like that. So it's nice. It's pretty refreshing to have somebody that's as interested as Scott is. Out of Bounds Ranch has a great future, and with the ownership and the family that's here, they're all interested in improving it and enjoying it, and that's the ultimate thing. You want to enjoy where you're at, and so I think Out of Bounds Ranch has a great future, and everybody associated with it and that comes in contact with it.
We're going to maintain it as a private family ranch, and it's going to stay a cattle ranch. It's operating successfully, and we plan to keep it that way. We don't plan on developing it for anything other than our family use. If we cleared all this property and all the deadwood, I'm sure there would be more. It just seems to work that way. But it would take us years and years. You know, if you factored in 10 years down the road, I think I'm looking at stepping up to the PT-475 just because we have so much to do here. Well, my experience with Global and FAE has been unbelievable. They've been totally responsive, answered all my questions, weekends, nights, emails. They've been fantastic. You know, Mike, he's out here blowing out the machine, filling it with fuel. He's just an unbelievable territory manager. And Tyler, he's fantastic. He comes out, checks on us. We stay in regular contact. And that's really because of the level of service from these guys. That's one of the reasons why I'm looking at the 475. I never thought that I would enjoy working a heavy piece of equipment or mulching or clearing land as much as I do. It's the best office in the world for me. I love it.